Hey, what's up everybody? ESAM here bringing you another video. This one going to be my opinions for the PGR40 through 31. And this one going to be a little different, just going to have some audio because I feel like me having my face in for 9 seconds at a time really wasn't worth it. And so I'm just going to do this and let us just jump into it. So at number 40 we have Tyroy. Tyroy has been one of my favorite players ever since I met him at Combo Breaker 2016. He is so talented, he is so good, he plays more than just Bayonetta, although obviously he is a Bayonetta main. He has incredible mindset, incredible adaptation, incredible reads. He is just so solid, and he honestly just doesn't travel like a lot, so a lot of people don't know him, or you know, he's at the lower end, so we'll get like the, oh, he has to play Tweak in the round of 64, and then it's like, okay, well he lost a Tweak in the round of 64, that's not bad, and then he'll work his way up to getting 25th or 17th at a major. This kid, he's so good. He does so many things that I feel like are unique to him. You know, his Meta Knight is also very strong, his Marth is very strong, he has so many characters that he can pull out, but obviously he plays Bayonetta, so he doesn't necessarily have to. But either way, Tyroy, I absolutely love him. I am so happy. When I saw the list at first, literally the person I was the most happy for on this entire list, I'm like, yes, Tyroy made it. That's amazing. Let's go. Next up is going to be a fellow Floridian, and that is going to be Dyer. So Dyer is one of the hardest working people, one of the people the most dedicated to Smash that I have ever seen. He loves this game. Sometimes he hates this game when he's upset, but he loves this game. He didn't go to that many events, but every event he did go to, he put on a show. He got, I know, 9th at SmashCon, barely losing to Mr. R and James. You know, he did well at Showdown, he did well at a bunch of other events that he went to other than Evo because he got the bracket of Renai into me because I got upset. So it wasn't really like, getting 65th losing to Renai and ESAM isn't the worst thing in the world. But either way, Dyer, I know he's a very unique Diddy. He tried at first to like copy Zero's style to try to get good, but then it just became a style all his own, and he is so strong. I'm very glad that he's back on this PGR. He can, again, I think this kid is absolutely fantastic. His mindset has got significantly better recently. That's one of the reasons why he got back on the list, and I feel like because of that mentality, he will go up in the next list. At 38, we're going to have Fatality. So Fatality, obviously, I'm not a fan of Falcon as a whole, so I'm slightly biased against Falcon in general, but Fatality is always one of those players that everyone loves. He is so exciting to watch. He always goes for the hard reads. He plays very for the crowd, and it still works. I mean, obviously, this season, he didn't have his big Momocon run beating Larry and Zero. He didn't have Civil War where he beat Nairo and Como, and so obviously his results are going to drop. He didn't do particularly great at any event. I think his highest peak in an S tier was 13th or 17th at SmashCon, but either way, obviously a very strong player. But again, when your reads work, you look like a genius, and when your reads do not work, you kind of get bodied for it, and I think that's kind of what happened to Fatality. So maybe has to restructure how he goes for his reads, how he goes for his 50-50s, you know, maybe work on his neutral a little bit more, work on some strong conversions, although he does obviously have things like the footstool conversions that he's been getting better, like down throw, up air, footstool, down air, blah blah. But I feel like people are kind of learning about that, and they're more cognizant about it, so they aren't really getting hit by it as much, which I think is a good thing personally, because I just like the meta being developed, and then every time someone does get a combo, it's like, wow, I know they deserve that because everyone knows about it. So I think, you know, Fatality obviously does have the potential to go up, was top 15 on the last list, which is absolutely fantastic. But Fatality did definitely struggle this season. I hope he can come back, because I love my Southeast brethren, but I mean, if Georgia wants to say they're as good as Florida, we're going to step to them, we're going to have some problems. At 37, we are going to have JK, the Bayonetta main from Vegas. So JK obviously is well known for his crowd antics being extremely loud in crowds. You heard it a lot during GTX. He's famous for screaming money matches in venues, because he is a fiend for this game. He plays all day, every day at events, and it is honestly something that I feel like more players that are kind of on the up and up should do, because JK went from being relatively unknown to being top 50 to now almost breaking into the top 35, which is a pretty nice improvement for him. So honestly, pretty interesting Bayonetta. Obviously, I lost to him at Shine, although Johns didn't have my controller, but either way, he did get a few impressive wins. He took Zero incredibly close at CCC2, and granted that was 3 stock, but either way, like this player, JK is like he's so solid, and he plays very erratic compared to most Bayos, and it's very awkward to play against, because, you know, she's obviously such a strong character that slight differences in style are going to make huge differences in how you have to play against them. But Bayonetta, you know, not necessarily the person that carries JK, because I feel like JK just understands the game at a pretty high level as well. But either way, impressive player, impressive showing. You know, he definitely deserved to go up. And at 36, we are going to have the master of B and C tiers, and that is going to be Choco. So Choco, the Zero suit from Japan, did not go to any A or S tier events, and is still almost top 35. I personally think Choco is a top 15 player in the world. He's absolutely fantastic. His reads, it's really weird because he's like not super fast, but he's super precise, and every single thing that he wants, I swear to God, he gets every air dodge, every grab. He does so many things that he just kind of pays attention to little minutia and will get kills off of it. Because I mean, that's kind of what Zero Suit does. But you know, you saw the Ken up throw fair, SDI down, double jump up air up B. Like that's it. That's crazy. How would you think of that? Like that's so good. You know, Choco obviously hasn't come to America yet. I hope that the next compendium for Japan just has him and only him, because he's honestly the only one we need, because Choco hasn't been to America. I feel like he would do incredibly well. You know, one of the scariest players. I think he's like top 3 in Japan with Como and Ken at this point. So he's so good. He's so good. Like, you know me, like it's hard to impress me with Zero Suit, and he does it on a consistent basis. Although I do see people, I just want to talk about this, I do see people talking like, man, well, everyone complaining that they didn't go to enough events, but look at what Choco did. But also, like, B and C tier events in Japan are significantly more stacked than they would be in America, because a B or C tier has like me and one other PGR player that's like top 15, and that would be a C tier. So it's not quite the same thing, because he was able to just play a bunch, especially because the last PGR had like, what was it, 30 or 28 Japan or something like that, a ridiculous number. So he was able, staying in Japan, to get a huge number of wins that just going to B and C tiers in America would not. So I just kind of wanted to like bring that up. But either way, definitely deserved. An amazing player. I think he's easily top 15, or at the very worst top 20 in the world. He's so impressive. Getting into the top 35, we have Charlie the King, the Fox main from SoCal. So Charlie obviously had his breakout performance. A lot of people did know he was very good because of just, you know, everyone watching MSM and Wednesday Night Fights and all those tournaments, so everyone knew he was good, and obviously the sagas, and he just had really good performances this year. He's incredibly solid. He does a lot of different things that, let's say, the most popular Fox Larry doesn't do, and obviously he and Light, you know, are vying for that second best Fox spot, you know, in a lot of people's eyes, and it is a very hotly contested title because they both do such crazy things. Charlie's conversions are absolutely fantastic. I've seen him do so many amazing things, and I'm just like, wow, I was 100% not expecting that. And even then, if you are expecting it, you know, sometimes it doesn't really matter because it's guaranteed, and yay, footstools are kind of dumb. Like, you know, he has a lot of the Fox like 0 to deaths on Twitter and things like that. So obviously Charlie, love the kid, super cool, super impressive in the way he plays, and you know, he definitely deserves top 35, and let's just see if he can keep it up, because I know, you know, it's obviously hard to be very young and have a strong mentality towards the game if things start going wrong. So if he stays on the next season, it will be a true testament to his mindset. 34, we have one of the most precious members of the entire community, or at least the notable ones, and that is going to be Tsu, the Lucario main from Japan. So Tsu obviously had his breakout performance at Frostbite last year, got a bunch of crazy wins this year, or this season, slowed down just a little bit, but honestly not by much. He still had a bunch of crazy wins, a bunch of very impressive showings, but people kind of, he just didn't have that one Frostbite. He didn't have that magical moment. He was getting top 8s, sure, maybe 9s, 13s, but no, not quite a second, not quite a win over Zero Special, not quite a win over Salem. So kind of just like settling back into feel like where he would be more consistently, because obviously Lucario, a very inconsistent character, but Tsu kind of gets around that and makes the character very consistent. But you know, because of that, he doesn't necessarily get the peaks of like, haha, you're at 20 and I'm at 150. You know, he's not constantly getting those things. So made a little bit of a harder season. I absolutely love him though. He is by far the best Lucario. He's so fun to watch. He does so many impressive things. His little like instant short hop down or side B is amazing. He does so many little things that put so much pressure onto you, and then with the pressure, he can get the reads and get the incredibly early kills. I love watching Tsu play. He's one of my favorite players. He gave me a cute Pikachu plush. It is so good, and I love him. He's one of my favorites for sure. At 33, we have Necat, the Fox main from, I don't know what region exactly he prescribes himself to at this point, either Mexico or SoCal or Ohio, I don't know, he's from somewhere, he's from North America. So Necat obviously has been a popular face in the entirety of Smash 4, and this season, he kind of rose back through the ranks, because Necat always in the previous seasons was someone that would lose game 5 to all the top players. He would bring Larry and Zero and Nairo and Abadongo and Ally all to game 5 and would always lose, but now Necat is getting, you know, he's not quite beating everyone that he's getting against. Like, he definitely had a very close set with Salem at Big House, but he is getting a lot more of those wins. He got 2 wins on Larry this season. He had an incredible Evo run. You know, he has so many things about him that are just like incredibly impressive when he plays. Obviously, he doesn't just play Fox as it shows on the screen, you know, of the PGR. He's also I think of him as a Ness main more than a Fox main, personally. His Ness, in my opinion, is his star character. It is so good, and I feel like he uses Fox for matchups that Ness doesn't work, but that's just my opinion. I don't know how he thinks about it exactly. He obviously picked up the DK for this season, you know, has played Lucina before. I miss his Pikachu. I wish wish he played Pikachu still. But either way, Nikat, obviously a very, very strong player. It just like has always been really solid, but again, he's now clutching things out more, and that is a huge difference between, you know, barely being on top 50 like last season, or even not being on it 2 seasons ago, and being in the top 35. So just little improvements can make a huge difference, and people really need to recognize that. It's not like you're all bad. It's not like, you know, Nikat was never bad, right? He wouldn't be able to clutch out the moments against the more clutch players, but now he's starting to be the clutch master, and you know, obviously he didn't go to much at the end of the season, but I'm hoping this next season he will prove that he definitely deserves his spot, because I'm sure there are a lot of naysayers. At 32, we have probably one of the smartest players in the entire world, one of the most dedicated and studied players in the entire world, and that is going to be Raito. Raito, he had 3 pages of notes on me for Big House. He is one of the most dedicated by trying to overcome a character that is at best mid-tier. I think even he thinks, you know, Duck Hunt is mid-tier, and so does most of Japan. He does so much. He studies players so hard. He puts in so much effort before the set even starts to make him have every single advantage he can. You know, Raito has got crazy wins this season. You know, I'm very, very good against Duck Hunt. DeBuzz is very good against Duck Hunt. He has got wins on both of us. He has other wins too. He has solid placements. You know, he hasn't top 8 in an American event yet, but he is always in top 16 or 24. He is so good. I feel like he never really loses to anyone that's bad. I think his worst loss this season, at least in America, was like Charlie the King or like something like that, and then Charlie was on this part of the list. Raito's so good. He's so good. I love watching him play. The way he gets his kills are amazing. The setups, the pressure, the mind games, every single thing that he can pick apart of a player's habits and just their tendencies, he will pick apart, and he will abuse it, and he will make you lose, and he will make you doubt literally every single movement that you want to do. And it is absolutely amazing to watch, and it hurts to play against. It was really difficult to play against, and I can say this first person now, but like afterwards I'm just like, damn, he broke me down, and then he told me afterwards, or someone else told me, that he had the 3 pages of notes, and I'm like, wow, he deserved it. He put in a lot of effort, and he continues to put in effort to make this character rise up the ranks. And the last person we have on this list is going to be Zenoto from Evil Geniuses. So Zenoto saw a drop this season. I feel like things just didn't click for him for the majority of the season, and then at the end he kind of had a little bit of a resurgence. Not like exactly the end, but near it. You know, he got a win on Mistake at Big House, he got wins on me at GTX, and a few other players at GTX, and so he kind of had a rough start, but he always has the strong, you know, he's an incredibly solid player, right? He has really solid fundamentals, he has really solid punishes, he has really solid reaction time, but I feel like he just kind of like, I feel like Zenoto didn't inherently get worse. I feel like he just kind of stayed the same this season, and everyone else kind of raised above him, because again, Zenoto is still going to school, can't commit the time that a lot of people in this list can, so he's working incredibly hard on that. And obviously I feel like, again, he didn't inherently get worse this season. I feel like the people that, you know, made him drop 11 spots just kind of got better than him, and so he kind of stayed the same, similar to, let's say, when I dropped from, what was it, 14 to like 28 or something. I feel like I didn't get worse. I just feel like the meta advanced past me, and I feel like that happened to Zenoto, but he will be back for sure. You know, Zenoto is one of the most studied players, one of the smartest players in the game, a person that can break down so many things, and so, you know, I love Julian. He's super cool, you know, always nice to talk to, and I feel like he will be back. He will be able to put in the time, hopefully, and have a strong showing in Season 5, and yeah, that is going to be about it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, social media and Panda and partner stuff is down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.